Sorry if my voice is a little scratchy. I'm getting sick. Wonderful. I always get sick on my birthday. But anyways, I just wanted to address a question that a lot of people have been asking as well. And this was getting mystical scrolls and crystals and all of that stuff. Now, if you guys look at my island recently, you'll notice that I got the crystal giant recently. This isn't really that big of a payoff, but I thought, I would just get it just while I can because I do plan on playing this for a long term, and it pays off in about 3 months or something like that, which is ridiculous, but might as well just buy it now just to show my dedication to the game. And a lot of people have been asking, well, how do you get crystals in this game? And this is going to be kind of informal on how to get crystals. One, do your daily challenges. You can get 10 crystals every day just from these little challenges. You get 7 when you complete all of them, and then the other 3, I believe, I don't remember what the other 3 were for just because I can't look at it yet. But it's like, I believe it might be for using 20 energy. I think it's like 20 energy or something like that. So you can get 10 just from daily challenges. And now if we look at Arena, your rivals, and I saved one just for this, you see they have a cooldown time, and I don't know the exact, amount of time for each one, but it's not very long for these first 7. It's not that long of a cooldown. Now, Kellen and Keon, they give 3 crystals, and they have a really long cooldown. So, but in total, like all of these, you can get quite a few crystals from these. So, say I just throw on, and they're not that bad. They're really not that hard. Once you get strong monsters, I just auto all of the fights, every single one of them, all the way up to Keon. I just auto them, and they don't take long either. So, see, look at this. Pretty fast. Boom. And just like that, I'm done. Okay? And just doing that every day with the amount of times they refresh, it gives me these +2 crystals for each of these battles, and then +3 on Kellen and Keon. Now, you can get random crystal drops in scenario mode and stuff like that, but that's not very reliable. You don't get it, the chance is pretty low. Now, the other option is if you come over into Trial of Ascension, and you look at the reward info, you get crystals for every 5 stages you complete. And I recently found this out like last month or something. I don't know why. I just recently found it out. I never looked at the rewards. I just always memorized them. But now I realize that the crystals are every 5 stages. So once I get to like stage 85 right here, it'll give me a pretty large amount of crystals, probably like around 50, anywhere from like 50 to 100 because I'm so high up in Trial of Ascension. But it starts out at 5 and then it goes up little by little. And then if you get to stage 40, you get 100 crystals. And then stage 80 is 300 crystals. Now that's pretty far ahead. So if a lot of you are struggling to get crystals, that's probably out of your reach. But that 100 crystals, that's not too hard to reach, honestly. And if it is, if you're still in the beginning level, like you can't reach stage 40 and you're just stuck at 20s and 30s, then even those every 5 stages, they can really boost you up. Probably a good 50 crystals in total. It's pretty helpful. And then there's some other stuff. What are the other ones? There's other ways. The crystal mine is definitely one of the early on things that you should buy. It's +1 every 10 hours. And if you look at this, I've still got, 28 hours and a little bit less than 11 minutes till it's maxed storage. So about 8 hours till like I get another crystal. And then this one's +1 every 8 hours. So you get 3 a day. So you can get like about 6, if you have both of these, you can get about 6 crystals a day just from these two. and that's not bad. I mean, you don't get that many, but another thing you guys should definitely check out are the events. So if you look at this, we've got burning time. So this is double XP and double mana stones. This is really helpful. Um, the double XP is awesome. I absolutely love it, and I plan on doing those. And then the mana stones. Well, if you look at this, I'm at 900,000 mana stones. Sometimes when I farm, giants and scenario mode and stuff like that, doing XP and stuff like that, I don't even realize, but the mana stones will be on, and it just boosts up so high. That's why the double mana stones, I think, is probably one of the most important ones for you to do, especially with so many rune power-ups. The double XP just as important as well because you want to level up those monsters. But of course, you can actually purchase double XP from the shop, but you can't purchase double mana stones. So I think double mana stones is extremely important in getting that for rune power-ups. Now, if we look down here, this one's more for newcomers. So if you guys are just starting out in the game, this is important for you guys to do and for others to help you out with because we're all going to benefit from it. So these are the things that you get. So you reach level 5, you get 10 summoning stones and 50,000 mana. 10 summoning stones, 50 energy, level 7, etc., etc. Now that EXP booster for 3 days, keep that. That is really good. You're going to be wanting to use that to level up your monsters on a stage that you can do fast and efficiently without dying. So if you're level 10, that's probably going to be in the first level in Garen Forest. So then once you reach level 15, you get that 3-star Wind Amazon, which is fusion, but you should use it for now at your level. But don't raise it above a 4-star if you're like really low level. One, because it's not a good 5-star monster to have early on, and because it's fusion, so 4-star monster is where you're going to want to keep it at. And then of course when you'll get, those are the main prizes that you get. And then when we get to 100,000 new players reaching level 15, we all get one Devilmon and 100,000 mana stones. 100,000 mana stones, not a big deal for me, but the Devilmon, that is 1 week's worth of playing. That's really helpful. Devilmon is probably the best thing in the game that you could invest your time and money in if you are going to do that, just because you can only get 1 a week, besides Trial Ascension and events like this. So we're just off, a little bit under 14,000 players, and we need to do this by when? I don't know where does it say? March 31st. So we've got 6 days, roughly. Now a little bit, less than 6 days because that's in the morning when it tallies up all the players. So I don't know if we're gonna make it. Hopefully we do because that Devilmon would be awesome. And just taking a look at these things, see if there's any crystals that we can get. This one isn't a crystal one, but you can save crystals. And if you're making a guild, it costs less. So you can, so now the renaming your name or your nickname or whatever, it's 150 crystals, not 300 crystals. Yada, yada, yada. And then the rest is just kind of not a big deal. These ones you should pay attention to, but they're usually always there just to get you free energy. Good, really helpful, good event. And that's about it. I mean, other than the skill rebalancing and stuff like that. And then this is, for example, one of them to log on all the way up to March 30th for your Fairy Queen. But if it was something like this and it was for crystals, like I think there's going to be one probably sometime in the next couple months or so within that time frame, about like doing certain challenges for crystals and stuff. Those are the things you want to watch out for doing the crystals. And of course, this is like ways you can get crystals free. I mean, you could come over here and you could get right here. You could get these monthly packages or whatever, or you can go to shop and buy crystals and whatever. But most of these people that are wondering how to do them, they're wondering how to get them in free ways. And the reason I'm addressing this now is because recently another YouTuber by the name of Schizophrenic Gamer, JewBagel, was discussing refreshing shop. And now, I mean, it seems like in the video, it seems like a good thing. Like, yeah, you can get, with 200 crystals, 300 crystals, not a huge problem at all. You could easily get like 11 plus mystical scrolls. But what people aren't realizing is he's got, like 1 to 2 million mana stones, and if you look at his mana go down, that's a huge thing. So if we look at the shop, look at the cash shop, 1,400,000. So this right here is like about 2 million. So we'll look at the 500 crystals one. If you look at the 500 crystals one, that's about 875,000 mana stones. We'll pretend like that's how much he spends on that, but it's more like around 15. They're like 1,500,000 mana stones. Now, so let's say that's 500 crystals plus the RNG that it takes to pull up the actual mana stones. One sec, my puppy wants out. Now, just like thinking about the actual mana stones that it costs and the crystals, it's roughly equalizing out to a premium pack, anyways. So that right there is already basically a premium pack, and the only thing he's doing is he's using some of it or most of it in mana stones, which you can farm, and you can't really farm crystals. So I mean, it sounds good and all, but a million plus mana stones, it's insane. Those you should be using for rune power ups, etc. So if you're gonna be doing that, you're most likely not focused on rune power ups. And a lot of lower players are asking, should I refresh shop and look for mystical scrolls and stuff like that? No, you really shouldn't. Honestly, and I don't mean this to attack him personally or anything like that. I just mean it as like, honestly, I don't really know if it's a very good strategy on getting mystical scrolls if you're doing this, especially because you're not going to get very many mystical scrolls unless you're level 40. Just because the higher level you are, the further along in the game you are, like higher level and stuff like that, the better stuff you're going to get in shop, including mystical scrolls. Now let's remember that mystical scrolls are what, about 110 to 130,000 mana stones each time. So we'll just say there's 120,000 mana stones. Okay, you're going for 11. Say it takes 200 crystals to refresh. So 11, 120,000 mana stones, right? So like let's say that's probably around 1,300,000, crystals. So that's more than the 500 crystals. That's like 600 crystals. You're paying more than a premium pack, and it's not even guaranteed. It's RNG based. It's random. So I mean, you could be spending 400 or 500 crystals and getting 11 mystical scrolls, and you just wasted a ton of mana stones. Or you could spend 100 crystals. It's very unlikely. You're more going to be in the larger range, like probably around 300 to 400 crystals to get those mystical scrolls. And I don't really think it's a good strategy. Honestly, I just don't think it's a good strategy at all. In this game, you want to stay away from random, generating stuff as much as you can, other than summons, because you can't help that. When you're using monsters, you don't want random attacked monsters. You want monsters that you can use to focus and strategize and stuff like that. So I think saving up for a premium pack is a lot more efficient. Now, if we look at this, we'll see if we get a mystical scroll. No, see? And I find mystical scrolls to be pretty rare in shop, actually. I find more 6-star runes than mystical scrolls. And that might just be the way my luck is, just quote-unquote luck. But, and I, honestly, I'm not going to refresh the shop to, like, make an example, just because I've refreshed shop before, and it's pretty waste, in my opinion. I don't think you should be ever refreshing shop unless you're trying to get a 6-star rune and you can't farm giants and dragons B10 or some high level floor on giants and dragon. Then if you really have a ton of mana stones and crystals, then maybe you can refresh shop. That's totally fine, because I find quite a few 6-star runes in shop, and some of them are legendary. They're quite expensive, but if you can afford it, then yeah, I don't see the problem with doing that. But with refreshing shop for mystical scrolls, I think it's a pretty big waste, honestly, and it kind of bugs me that there's so many lower levels. And we'll just go ahead and start something up here so you guys have something to watch. It's more like a rant for this, just because I see so many lower levels saying, "Oh, I'm refreshing shop. I'm not getting anything for mystical scrolls and stuff like that." Yeah, you're not, because you're such a low level that you're not going to find anything in the shop. And a lot of players are saying, "Oh, it's taking me 400 crystals to get 5 or 6 mystical scrolls," and it's RNG based. So I mean, I come in here and I'm like, "Oh, look, you do it on the 5 minute mark and you're gonna get a 5 star, and maybe I do it 1 or 2 times and then everyone thinks it works." It's just luck. It's just luck. And that's the thing with this game. It's just luck. And most of this game is like luck. So, yeah, I can get all these mystical scrolls, but if you've seen the recent summons, it's starting to average out on my content what you exactly get, from this game. You see these summons, and I'm getting some decent 4 stars, and some other trash 4 stars, and a lot of 3 stars. And that's what you should expect in this game, and that's exactly what you need to expect in shop. You can't really expect to get a ton of mystical scrolls in shop, because that's just not the way that the percentage chance works. So that's just kind of my view on refreshing shop for mystical scrolls. I don't find it at all useful, and honestly, I don't think it works very well. Now, if you have like 3 million or 4 million mana stones and you have no idea what the hell to do with them because you've already upgraded all your runes and you have nothing else to do, and you've done all the fusions and there's nothing that you can do, and you're low on crystals and you're free to play and stuff like that, then maybe that's probably one of those situations you might want to just risk your luck and go for mystical scrolls, because you don't have any other monsters to work on. You've got a ton of mana stones, a few crystals. It's going to take you a while to save them up. Maybe that's one of those instances. But if you're just starting out and you don't really have many mana stones, I know I sure as hell need all the mana stones I can get, because if you look at this, I need to max out Julian's runes. He's not been a priority, especially for his 135, because I don't use him that much, but just because he's so squishy. Now, if you look at like my Lagmarone, I'm starting to max out those runes. Katarina, trash. I give her trash runes because I don't really like her. I need to upgrade his runes. Arnold, I need to finish upgrading his runes. Stuff like this. Even Bella, I need to finish upgrading all these runes. And there's so much stuff to work on that, especially with mana stones and all these different things like maxing out different runes, you can't really waste mana stones like that. And you're either going to even out to a premium pack roughly with the amount of mana stones that you spend, or you're going to end up spending more. That's most likely the case. Maybe there might be 1 or 2 lucky people that spend a little bit less than a premium pack, but again, it's pretty RNG based when you're basing all of your chance on the randomness of the shop. So mostly the point of this video was just to kind of give a rant, but also to just talk about the shop overall, just because there's just been so many people asking this, and it kind of irritates me when people come into the channel. Not the people, but just because so many people come into like a channel that I'll be in, and they'll be talking about how they got screwed over because they reset shop and didn't get jack shit. And it's like, yeah, well, shop's random. You can't summon a mystical scroll and expect a 5-star. So that's why, especially if you're lower leveled. So I don't mean this as like people are pissing me off, but more just because I don't really think it's a great idea to refresh shop in general. So this is more directed towards the people that think refreshing shop is a good idea. And I don't at all mean to bash on JewBagel. I just don't think it's a very good strategy. But if you have the mana stones, like a large amount of mana stones, and I think you even talked about this in this video, so I think a lot of people are just missing that in the video. They're not seeing that you need a lot of mana stones, and this is for people that like have absolutely no use with their mana stones, which is almost no one in the game, because most people are needing to upgrade their runes. So, if you have absolutely no use for your mana stones and are low on crystals, then by all means, this is probably a good strategy for you. But other than that, honestly, you should be saving up your crystals using any number of the methods I described. There might be other methods to getting crystals as well. Um, I don't think there's really no way to get it from guild battles, but these future updates, like right here, I think they might add more ways to getting crystals, and it'd be pretty nice. You also, one thing I missed was missions and achievements. I've got one left, and I've been saving that for a rainy day, but I'm almost done. And you should just be doing your missions, your daily, your achievements, all that stuff, and then the other number of methods I described. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it, because crystals are pretty important, but just as important are your mana stones. Even though they're farmable, they're really hard to get and save up. So that's just my thoughts on it, and that's to address anyone that was wondering if resetting shop was worth it and helpful. It's RNG based, so if you have a ton of mana stones and very few crystals, then by all means go for it. But if not, I highly recommend you to just save up for a premium pack. It literally, the premium pack is just 750 crystals flat and 10,000 extra mana stones for that bonus scroll or whatever. And plus, you get a few angel bonds in the process. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think the premium pack is really what people need to stick with. So I hope you guys liked my little rant video, but also my discussion on it, because I think it's a pretty important topic. Crystals is pretty much what makes or breaks your progress in the game. The more mystical scroll summons you get, higher chance of getting good monsters, and of course you need double XP and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys got something out of this video, and you learned something new. Everyone can learn something new. And let me know in the comment section if you think there's an even better method to getting mystical scrolls, because I know there's a number of ways you can get summons in this game. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'd love to hear also what kind of success you've gotten. If you've refreshed shop before, I'd love to hear what kind of success you've gotten, because honestly, I just don't see the worth in it unless you've really got no use for your mana stones. But that's just me, so no worries, just my opinion. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.